Hey yo, it's time to roar, get loud, let's ignite. Jeremy B in the house, we keeping it tight. Every weekday at 11, we ready to ride. Lions Talk Live, come and join the pride. Waking up early, it's that morning grind. Tune in to the show, leave the troubles behind. Jeremy B's the king, with the voice like thunder. Every word he spits, it's a lyrical wonder. Got the lions around, sharp and fierce. When we hear one pride, you can't help but feel your heart pierce. Talking all the topics, keep it real, keep it raw. With a lion's mentality, we're ready for the roar. One pride, it feels right. Jeremy B bringing the heat, morning light. Every weekday at 11, we taking flight. Lions Talk Alive, yeah, we ready to bite. One pride, hear us loud. Jeremy's in the zone, making us proud.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good afternoon. It is Lions Talk with Smoke and Jeremy B. And wow, what a night it was. Watching the game with my good buddy, Steve Bauer, who should be popping in any minute on the chat. But yeah, it was funny because right when they started that last drive for Pittsburgh, I said, the only thing that would make this game any better is a pick six by Karen Rodgers. And lo and behold, 3 plays later, what happens? A pick six, trying to go for it. Oh, it was fun to watch. 30-6, the Texans destroyed them. Just molly-whopped them. That defense is one to watch out for. MDE, what is up, my brother from another mother? Yeah, Steven, I was just telling everybody how I called that pick six just before it happened. That was a blast to watch. We watched it at Hamlin's Pub. If it happens, it happens. Right now, we know that they have to do so many, and I'm not trying to be a jerk here, and I'm not trying to poo-poo on it. But this could be a DEI interview. We've seen this before where they bring in 3 or 4 people, they interview them just to interview them, and then they go on to their real target. I still think that Harbaugh is going to decide between the Giants and Falcons. And I'm not saying it's not because Calvin Shepard doesn't do it, because he did play for the Dolphins back in 2015 and 16 under Joe Philbin and Dan Campbell. Remember those days? I didn't want to say it that way because I think it's awful that they do it. But yes, that could be. Just like Eric Bieniemy was for years. Nobody was going to hire him because they know he's not a good head coach because of what happened when he was at college. Remember when everybody would schedule interviews and it got to the point where Eric Bieniemy turned down like 17 in a row the last 3 seasons? There's a reason for it. That's why he's the current running backs coach at Chicago. But it's also why all of their running backs got better this year, including a rookie that nobody heard of, Kyle Manungai, however they say it. I think he deserves to be an OC somewhere, but I don't think he'll ever be a head coach. McDaniel's rescheduled his interview to today. He's at Allen Park right now. Don't let him leave the building. Pay that man what he wants. That's what I think. Yeah, what was funny, remember when he left? What was it? Was it 105 interceptions or 99 interceptions when he left Green Bay after 13 seasons or 16 seasons or whatever it was he was there. God, he was there forever. But he didn't have that many interceptions. Way more 500 career touchdowns, and they were showing that he has 567 touchdowns, and he now has 123, which means somewhere between 18 and 24 interceptions happened in only 2 seasons. Because 3 seasons ago, he only played 5 snaps, and that's if you include his Achilles tendon. I know that Jets fans last year were bitching because through 7 games, Aaron Rodgers had 9 picks, and it took Zach Wilson 15 games to get 9 picks his rookie year. And everybody said he was awful. Bears fans, this will be the weekend you guys will be sitting on the couch at they got the Rams coming into town. It's a tough road. Defense travels. Offense, not so much. It's going to be really cold this weekend. I want to see how Stafford does. His QBR in the cold is a 71.8. His passer rating is under 65 in those cold games. He does still have a better touchdown to interception ratio, but his completion percentage dips by almost 10%. It goes to 56%. He averages around 66 in his career. So I do want to see how that goes this weekend. Not here to talk shit. You know, Vikings, Lions, Vikings swept us, but we had the same record at the end of the season. We were both on the couch. And now the other 9-8 team and the 8-9 team in the playoffs. And say what you want, the Panthers deserve to be there because they gave the Rams fit. Damn near won that game. They were just one stop away. Say what you want, they played a hell of a game against the Rams, and they looked like they deserved to be in the playoffs. It wasn't a blowout. The only 2 blowouts was Pats over Chargers and Texans over Pittsburgh. I think they're rough for both teams, because both teams play the same brand of football. Pressure, force turnovers, don't give up a lot in the run game. I think the difference will be Drake May's athleticism. CJ Stroud is not that big rollout, escape the pocket type of passer, whereas Drake May can do that on his own, and that might end up being the difference. But I think it still comes down to a field goal at the end of the game. I think that's going to be probably one of the best games played this weekend. All of the matchups are going to be tight. San Francisco has to play the number 1 seed Seahawks in Seattle. That's never an easy thing to do. They beat them there once, but that was the regular season. Rust for the Seahawks. Will Sam Darnold finally get over and win the first playoff game of his career? What up, though, RBF Brett? Broncos beat Bills, and Seattle will win. Yeah, I in that thin air, and it does make a difference. Very few teams have been able to withstand it. Withstand that fourth quarter onslaught because they're used to the stamina. When the defense and the offense get gassed, no problem, RBF. We got you. I'm doing fantastic. I went to Hamlin's pub with Steve Bauer last night. You know, guy in the chat all the time. I literally called. I don't know. They're talking. Fans want him fired today, but Rooney talked about him like he's the best thing since sliced bread. So I don't know. But anyways, just before that drive, I said the only thing that would make this game complete is if Aaron Rodgers throws a pick six. 3 plays later, Galen Bullock, 51 yards to the house. You know what? They had a great season. Congratulations to them. I want to see them do it next year with the first place schedule. And I'm not saying it's a fluke that they got there. They got hot while all of us in the division got cold. Don't blame me for speaking honestly. But 0-2 versus the worst team in the division and a 2-4 record in the division doesn't bode well for next season. At least when we were 9-8 and in third place, guess what? We still had a 4-2 record in the division. What up there, Ricky Seacott? Let me turn on the sound machine and get that going because I missed it for all of you, and I'm quite sure Robbie the Jagoff will be here shortly, unless he disappears on the days when his team doesn't win a playoff game. I don't know. I don't think Robbie's that type of jackwagon. That's right. Oh, geez. I don't want to be delusional. This division is up for grabs the next 3 years. That's what it is. The Bears are better than we thought they were because their coaching got them there ahead of schedule. Vikings are close. They're a quarterback away from being relevant. And if they don't do something about JJ or he doesn't improve, they won't improve next year. They'll be 9-8 or less next year, no matter who's coaching the defense. And the Packers, they might lose Jeff Hafley, the best defensive coordinator they've had in 5 years, the last 2 seasons, because he's going for a head coaching interview. Yep, that's where I'm at, and they got to get past Matt Stafford and the Rams to get there. And that's not an easy task. That Rams defense travels. It plays well in the cold. We've seen it already. Yep, because everybody said if we won the division twice in a row, they'd stop talking trash about the Lions. It never happened. Thank you for the like, Chad Ortega and Ricky Seacott. I appreciate it. But I hope that McDaniels doesn't leave Allen Park. I hope he's signed. I want to stop all this bullshit that nobody wants to come here. You saw the same news I did, Steve. They're talking to him about an extension, and I think it's a mistake. Some of the play calling was awful. That 3rd and 1, when you guys called a pass, when you could have ran it up the middle with Jacobs or Wilson, I don't know what's going on there. I don't know why they did that. That heave to the end zone was a desperation play. I understand it was the last play of the game. They had to get there. He got it there. It was on target, but it was covered. I've never seen a coach traded in years. It's been decades. Heard they're working on an extension. That's the last thing I saw on one of the Packers sites. So you hear one, he might be fired by Monday. You hear on another one, he might get an extension. You don't know what's real and what's not anymore because they both look like legit sites, not your average run of the mill clickbait place where you go into it and you get 30 pop ups. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna leave it at that. And the Jags deserve to be there. Look how far they took the Bills to the hill. It took Josh Allen putting that last drive on his back to win that game. Josh Allen finally looked like the guy that was the MVP winner the year before. He didn't look like that most of the season. He had games where he looked like it at times. But he finally won a road game. That's because that was different. That's a different situation. They didn't want him back. But I don't think he'll be traded. I think he'll just be fired. But that's just me. And being a part of 2 such major collapses, up 18 points at the half, 15 at the end of the 3rd quarter. It was ridiculous what happened. I'm sorry. You guys scoffed at the Lions for losing a 17-point game at halftime in the NFC Championship game. You guys just did it in the first round of the playoffs. I don't know which is worse. You tell me. How many Super Bowls have you gotten to with Matt LaFleur? If it's reasonable, yes. I think we just need to keep Lopez, and then we still got Wingo next year. If he can be on the field, that's a rotational guy that'll hardly hit the field and be helpful because Wingo flashed a couple of plays last weekend or the last week of the season, I should say. And for God's sake, get a 3-down guy at the opposite side of Hut. That way, guys can be on rotation on both sides. Hutch plays less. He does better when he plays less. Every game where he played less than 90%, he had multiple sacks. All the games where he had 90 to 94%, all he had was pressures. Couldn't get there. And Aiden even talked about that he missed on 2 or 3 sacks, getting there and trying to get a hold of Williams, and he got away. Because I think he'll be a good player. It takes a long time to get used to Ben Johnson's system. Go look at our 22 season. He goes, I just don't know if he'll be there. Yeah, you got to look at the fact that you guys weren't converting third downs either. You got your defense got gassed, and half of it was on the major part of it was on the IR. And I know that's no excuse. You play what you have at the time, which is everything everybody said to me. But you had 3 major starters out. Hobbs out, you had Wyatt out, and you had Parsons out on that defense. And I think you even lost a linebacker in that game. And let's face it, the guy on the other side of McKinney did nothing most of the season for you. They just didn't throw to McKinney. So McKinney did not have a good year because you guys had a weakness opposite him. I call it like I see it. Big Dad Davis. Oh, you got in here just in time. It's almost mock time. It is mock time. What the hell? So let's get this going. Boom, my graph. Let's see. I don't like that one. That's tempting. No. Now that I don't mind either. So I'm going to pull that off this size. I want to see who's here. Aiden Proctor's gone. Francis Malagawa's gone. Sonny Styles. Parker. Let's see his size. 6'3", 265. More of a 3-man front guy. Okay. And he's late like a linebacker. Now there we go. Okay, so let's see. He's there. Let's look at these trade offers again. No. Maybe. Okay, chat. Which one do I take? The Texans? Yeah, I appreciate that, brother. I say that Ed Policy brings in every coaching person and gives them the Vince McMahon. You're fired. That'd be great. Everything just froze for a second. There we go. Yeah, I'm thinking about Overton because, I'm not as high on Fanu and Lomo as some of the other guys. There's a guy in the second round that'll be there at 50. So yeah, I agree. I think take the Texans trade is the smarter trade. Ooh, yeah, they want me to give up that? No. Oh, there's nah, I'm not trading out of the first round. Look at that. Look how far Caden Proctor has fell. He is there. I just didn't expect him to be there. We can still get Proctor. Yeah, that's another linebacker size edge. I'm taking Proctor. Come on, make it. He's there. I'm not trading back right now. Oh, he's not there. They all went. So there's Anthony Lucas, 6'5" and 272. Derek Moore, 6'3", 260. Dennis Sutton, Danny Dennis Sutton, who isn't bad from Penn State, but he kind of had a bad year. He was better the year before. Mikhail Kamara, he's a big, short guy, real thick. But you know what? Let's go to the safety side. 6'7", but then you go all the way down to 78. And that's the kind of the size I want. Defensive tackle, 4'3", isn't quite the caliber DT. Yeah, see, there you go. This guy's better. I want the Godfather. So you tell me, do I go? I got. You're absolutely right. I don't like trades, and the reason why is because 9 times out of 10, somebody goes ahead of where you expect them to go. Yes, I'm thinking about taking the Godfather right here because it's not that much of a reach, and we still got another pick this round. So let's do that. Now let's see what's offered. 2 trade offers. God, they always want me to give up an extra pick, and I don't feel like it. So this one gives me 108, which is just inside the fourth round. It's not a third rounder and giving up our fifth rounder, which means we wouldn't could always trade back again. But first, let's see who's there. Let's go all because I think we can still get a certain somebody I want. Oh yeah, there he is. It's early. I can trade. I can still get him at 118, or I could go safety. Still too early for him. Let's see, 5'10" and 227. Than that one. Yeah, he's better. Hmm. I'm half tempted to take the trade off. Let's see who's at edge. Okay, Anthony Lucas. Let's just go edge. Let's go edge. I think I can get the center later. And we can. It worked. I am not missing out on him. Now we got 134. No trade offers. Defense. Oh, look at that. There he is. Kilgore. That's the Brian Branch with. Yeah, that's right. Good morning, Nick Burton. Oh, we got a trade offer again. Let's go look at this. 5 picks and get another seventh rounder. I'm in. Okay, now we can go linebacker. Look, there he is, Aiden Fisher. It's either him or Lander Barton. Lander Barton had a good year, but he wasn't great. But this kid has been making plays. I got to do a draft profile on him. I want him. Next pick 202, and I believe that was from a trade too, because our other pick was usually 206. Now we got to go corner. Trading Stoops. This kid out of Arizona had a good year. I got to do a draft profile on him. I'm not sold on Jaden Lucas, but Trading Stoops, he's a little light, but he's just as tall. He's fast. We need fast tall corner. Hey, look, 209, 210. Now we can go here. Bryce Botcher, 6'2", 225. No stats, but that's the guy I love. You've seen me do the write up, written 2 different draft profiles for 2 different sites. We can go edge here. Yeah, you can take him later. Actually, let's go guard. Let's see what's here. That's my guy, and he usually goes in the 6th round. I think that was it. So we ended up with 9 picks. I hit every position that we need depth at. What do you think? I'm going to screenshot this and we'll put it up on the bigger screen. That way you can see. Save it. Close. Back here. Stop sharing. He should be here now. It's supposed to be any time now. All I heard was early afternoon. So I don't know the time exactly, but I'm hoping he doesn't leave Allen Park when he gets here. And you saw that. I traded back to 28. The guy I wanted that was in the 60s was already gone. And I ended up lucking out and Proctor fell. And at 28, I'd rather take Proctor there at 28 than 17 because he does need to shed weight to be not so top heavy. Top heavy means that if they don't hand pop them, all they got to do is pull them down. So let's load this mock up. Let's see what we got. I like the trades I did do, though. Okay, we got Caden Proctor, Dante Corleone, Anthony Lucas, Logan Jones, Jalen Kilgore, Aiden Fisher, Traden Stoops, Kendall Daniels, and Trey Zoom. That's assuming we do not re-sign Grant Stewart. We do not re-sign Alex Anzalone. I think we will give Malcolm Rodriguez a prove-it deal like we did, like we tried to do with Levi Amuzariki. I understand Pete's worked under McVay, but he's not an OC. Pete is a passing game coordinator with no offensive coordinator experience. He was just a passing game coordinator. Yeah, but at 6'5" and 369, he needs to shed about 20 to 30 pounds, so he's not so top heavy. For Proctor, his footwork is great, his strength is great. He turned down 2 head coaching invites, is what I heard. He only accepted one, and it's later this week, Friday. Say because he moved the head coaching interview back, and then he moved our interview back to today. So it's either Wednesday or Friday. Today's Tuesday. I will be a part of Driving to the Top production, and I'm going to ask them if they want to do a mock draft, and I'll run it for us because there's a lot of teams on there. There's the Ravens, there's Steelers fans, there's Jaguars fans, there's even a Packer fan um, from the West Coast on there, and we usually go live about 9 o'clock. And the reason why I want to do a mock draft with all of them, because then I want to see if they can be a GM, if they can make moves. Because I'm going to say, do not initiate trades with the people that are going to be in it. Yeah, he aged bad this year, didn't he, MDE? Let's just hope Brad makes. Yes. Look at that again, though. I think this is a solid draft. Caden Proctor, the Godfather, Anthony Lucas, Logan Jones, Jalen Kilgore, Aiden Fisher, Traden Stoops, Kendall Daniels, and Trey Zoom. Now remember, all of this is pre-combine and pro days. These draft positions could change by that time. But I'm not letting Logan Jones fall past 118, even though it says he's the 150th to 130th prospect everywhere in all of the draft prospects. The guy's a Remington Award winner on the Jim Thorpe offensive line winning offensive line. So it's not just him that was great, it was the entire O line. It wouldn't hurt you to even grab a guard or a center out of that team if you need one. Trey Zune is a guy I like late. That's why I grabbed him. Kendall Daniels is a guy I like late. Traden Stoops is a guy I like late. Aiden Fisher is a big playmaker in that Indiana defense. So let's see. Anthony Lucas, Aiden Fisher, and Traden Stoops. I have to write the draft profiles about them. Yes. I don't care if we sign a vet this year. I still want Logan Jones this draft. He's about that size, but the strength. Go watch his strength training. Just look up Logan Jones in weightlifting and watch that video. Holy smokes, that guy he could move mountains. Let's put it that way. And his pro comp is Frank the Tank. Right, just like we did with AG. That's why we got it might be 2 fourth rounders. Remember, we got a third round last year and a fourth round this year for Glenn. That's why we have the extra fourth round pick. So I don't want to say it's automatically 2/3. It was a third and a fourth for Glenn. It depends on how much money they get too for the coaching position. Like, as much as I hate to say it, we'd have been better off. Amen. At 118 or later, he's a steal. I think he's going to end up being a day 2 pick, preferably second round. That's why I usually take him at 50. But in these mocks, all of them have him between 130 and 153 for some reason for draft position, and I think they're selling him short. Well, this has been another edition of Lions Talk with Smoke and Jeremy V. If there's any more questions, let's hit it. Let's get it. Let's get her done because I have things to do. And I know, what is it? I have things to see, people to do, and places to go. That's what I used to say. So give me any other questions. Or if there's any draft profiles you want me to write about. I've already done Dante Corleone, the Godfather. I've already done Kilgore. I've already done Daniels. I've already done Proctor. I've done Mawagawa. Tonight, I will be on Driving to the Top Productions. I will air it live to my channel at 9 p.m. I always do that show when I can. And like I said, I'm going to ask them if they want to do a mock draft because that'll be fun with all those guys there. A Jags fan, a Steelers fan, a Ravens fan, sometimes a Packers fan. There's sometimes a Browns fan in there. And then, of course, me. And there's Ken the Bear fan, too, when he remembers to show up and doesn't flake out. It's not his work ethic that bothers me. I think it's more his weight because he's top heavy. Thank you, MDE. But 3 of the 4 teams in this division, all of us with 9 wins, are now on the couch to King Coon. We get to watch the playoffs and live vicariously through the Bears. I think that ends this weekend, but I can't say that because a lot of you said, "Oh, I think that ends this weekend. The Packers are going to beat them." And I said, "No, they're not." I just had a feeling that Chicago was going to win. I went 4-2 in my pick because I picked all home teams except for Pittsburgh. I picked the Texans in that game. I got the Rams wrong, and I got that one wrong. Barbie represents the North. Yes, since you said it, I got to show it. That's the only quarterback from the North still in. The one with the worst completion percentage next to JJ. Was he really a starter? What did we learn today? That we need help, Gav. And that Mike McDaniels is in the building. He's at Allen Park right now. So let's see what happens. I'm hoping he doesn't leave. Gav, it's great to see you. If you're available tomorrow, that way we can talk about what's going forward. When I go live at noon, that link that I sent you last week, that's a permalink. You can use it again if you saved it. If not, I'll hit you up on Facebook or something. Amen. That's what I said. Make him an offer he can't refuse. Be the godfather of deals. But try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. Starts right here. Much love to everybody in the chat. Hang loose. Hang low. Peace, love, and chicken grease.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.